Greetings! I am Herbert Erpaderp, and yet again it's time for the asking of the Herbert Erpaderp. That's me, so I suppose I had better get to answering the questions. Today, Major General Bunk has a voice question.
Greetings! I have two questions for you this week. Firstly, have you tried Warlord's Exterminate yet? I know I've recommended it to you before at least a year ago, but I've recently played a homebrewed version with the owner of my local gaming place and it is super fun and ridiculous. For instance, did you know that Daleks can hold swords in this game? Secondly, I've noticed that during your live streams you've been drinking Pepsi Max. Whilst it's obviously not the healthiest drink around, is it at least healthier than comparable soft drinks? If so, is it advisable to drink it whilst dieting or something?
A Dalek with a sword? That's absurd. Absurdly entertaining. I haven't played Exterminate yet, nor have I picked up any of the models or books or anything. I kind of keep forgetting that it exists. The old memory's not what it used to be. Ah! I should pick it up someday, if only for the models. They do look rather good. And I did just place an order with Warlord yesterday too, so I guess it might be slightly too late today. Maybe next time. Pepsi Max is certainly not the healthiest of beverages, but it's sugar-free and I like the taste better than the Coca-Cola varieties, though I do drink those too. Pepsi is cheaper, so I quite often buy that. The main reason is because I'm diabetic and it's sugar-free, so I guess it's a better option than sugary drinks for dieting. I'm not a food surgeon though, and this isn't medical advice. Unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot of convenient and cheap choices for sugar-free drinks, so I usually just have Pepsi Max. On to the text-based questions. Name Redacted said, if you could get a real working Car 98K or Lee Enfield, would you? If it's free, yeah, I'll take it, either one. It wouldn't be legal to keep though unless I went through the licensing procedures and installed gun and ammo safes, which is obviously a good thing, though expensive. I guess that's not really in the spirit of the question though, is it? Sure, I'd take those guns. If nothing else, they would make a nice collector's piece. Trekan Belovich said, do you have an arch-enemy? If yes, is it the kind of arch-enemy who you would give your metal and resin hetzer as a gift? I don't have an arch-enemy. I mean, there's people I don't like, but they're not really worth the kind of energy that an arch-enemy would take. Ideally though, if I had an arch-enemy, they would drive a three-wheel car like Mr. Bean's arch-enemy. I don't think I'm cruel enough to give anybody that metal and resin hetzer. That's just horrible. Smoes said, are you thinking about attending the Queensland Model Hobbies Expo again this year? I am. It's in August, I think, so it's a fair way off yet, so I can't say for sure if I'll be there or not, but if I do go, I will try and get some good video. There's another similar thing that's happening sooner that I intend to go to, but I've forgotten the details of it. Also, just the other day I realised I just missed the Model Railway Expo that happens at the Brisbane Showgrounds, and I was a little bit disappointed by that, though I did go last year. I guess I'm getting a bit off track. The answer is, probably. B-Man said, what is your opinion of the new Sabaton Bismarck? I'm assuming you mean the song and not some ship in World of Warships that I'm not aware of. I really like it. The song is really good and has some nice catchy bits. The video clip is great too, though it does take a bit to get going. In comparison with their other new release, Fields of Verdun, Bismarck is a stronger song in my opinion, though I do enjoy both. I've watched the Bismarck video a few times now, not repeatedly over and over, but I have watched it a few times since it came out, which doesn't happen that often. It's very good. Sunny Deasy said, would you consider looking at other model brands like Die Waffenkammer or Blitzkrieg Miniatures? I have actually ordered something from Die Waffenkammer. I'm probably saying that wrong. They're also known as JTFM Enterprises. I ordered a KV2, and it was quite a while ago, but it never arrived. I emailed them after quite a while and was assured that another one would be sent. Nothing arrived. Pretty disappointing. That was a couple of years ago now, and I figured I might as well cut my losses of however much it costs and not waste my time with them again. I get the feeling that they don't give much of a shit. I have said this before, and somebody suggested to just keep emailing them about it, but I don't feel like I should have to hound somebody to get the model I've ordered. I'll just spend my money elsewhere. I would also say that they miss out on getting videos made about them, but that sounds kind of pretentious, and I really doubt they care anyway. I'm sure there's somewhere local that somehow has some of their stuff in stock, but I can't say I have a lot of interest now. I don't trust them, and I don't want to give them any money. I'm thankful I only ordered one model rather than a whole bunch, and I do have a nice plastic KV2 now anyway. Blitzkrieg's stuff does look fairly good, from what I've seen, and I might pick up something from them one day. Again, it would only be one model to start with, and then I'd see if they're worth dealing with. James Valentine said, "I think I found your next build video project. Not mine." And he's included an image that you can see now. I'm not convinced that that would be an especially effective drill for anything but the softest plastic. I had no idea such a thing existed, but I would actually give it a try, but only if it was really cheap or free. I wonder if there are rivet counters for kits like this. "You didn't build this part of the drill properly, Herbert." Monol said, "Can people ever stop asking a question that has been asked and answered multiple times with a no?" It doesn't seem so. I mean, I do understand the ones that don't get asked so frequently, but the one you're referring to has been asked several fortnights in a row now. You'll notice it wasn't in this episode. I really should get around to putting together an FAQ. So many little things to do and so little time. Joseph Stalin said, "You go to Motherland yet?" "Niet, comrade. I feel like you would know if I entered glorious Motherland. If I do come to Motherland, will you send me to Gulag? Because I don't want to go to Gulag." Garrus909 said, "What is the official food, drink and currency of Derptopia?" The way it looks in the Workers and Resources version of Derptopia, the official food is food, made from grain, and also meat, which seems a bit rare. And the official drink looks like beer, which one can obtain at Glorious Pub. No other options are available. The official currency is derps, I guess. But who needs currency when you live in a glorious utopia like Derptopia? Spacefan247 said, "What is your preferred primer? Also, what type of masking do you use?" I don't really have a preferred primer. I've used Vallejo Surface Primer, the AK Interactive Waterborne Polymer and Microfiller primers, also Badger's Steinel Res, and I quite like all of them. If I run out of primer, the one I replace it with depends on the price and whether or not any of them are out of stock. The AK Microfiller Primer seems to be a lot harder wearing, so I try to use that on things like resin. The only issue I have with it is that it's a bit more difficult to clean up, so I wouldn't use that on a single figure if I had to prime one figure. I try to prime multiple things at once to avoid excessive cleanup. They all work pretty well and do what I want them to do, so I don't really have a preference. Similarly, I don't really have a preference for any masking either. I've got some Tamiya tape and some generic painter's tapes and masking tapes. Other than the AC-1 Sentinel I recently painted, I haven't really needed to do a lot of masking lately. Some people got really mad at me for not having Silly Putty. For some reason they feel like the same brands that they have access to are available everywhere. People are fucking weird. I do also like the Humbrol liquid mask, but my bottle dried out some time ago, and I'll almost certainly get another bottle next time I need to do some masking like that. I've never really been a brand loyal arbitrarily pick a favourite and stick to it kind of guy. I like to try different things, and if they work, I'll use them, especially if they're cheaper than the hobby branded products. John Hell said, "What do you think would be the worst paint to spill? Can include washes and Citadel textures." Well, I think, without doing any testing, that texture paints would splash less because they're far less liquidy in most cases. You'd have plenty of time to pick them up before anything spilled out. To be honest, I think the worst paint to spill is the one you want to use right now. If you spill it all, you need to go and replace it, and that's pretty annoying. Otherwise, I think they would all be fairly annoying to spill. Enamels would probably be worse, because they won't clean up with water, but I think we should all just try not to spill our paints at all, really. Mr. Plays87 said, "Are you going to make a German Grenadiers army and also paint them?" I don't have any plans to. You don't mention a scale, but I think I've already built some German Grenadiers for bolt action. I can't actually remember if I did or not, or if the figures I'm thinking about are something else, but I'm fairly sure they were part of the Band of Brothers starter set. I don't plan to build an entire army out of grenadiers. I don't really build specific armies, they're more of a hodgepodge of the things that I have. But they will eventually be painted. Not before my Soviet figures though. I did just order a bunch of Fallschirmjäger sprues from the sprue sale Warlord currently have going, assuming it's still going when this video is live, and I tried to get some Winter Germans too because I thought that might be fun, but they sold out between the time I added them to my cart and clicked purchase. Also, I picked up the new plastic Matilda and some Desert Rats for those interested. In the comments of last fortnight's Ask a Herbert Erpaderp, Top Bunk Productions said, "This has been the most entertaining Ask a Herbert Erpaderp so far. Your use of my rat bomb text and Duncanuva's official secret police statement almost made me spit out my drink. Keep doing what you do, man." Thanks, I appreciate it. We planned the secret police thing specifically to make you spit out your drink. It seems we failed, but we were close. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Gift of Chaos Studio said, "Is the Discord for patrons only?" Not at all. Well, that's not true. There is a channel for patrons only, and a couple of other locked channels like the mod one and one for my IRL friends and I, but everything else is completely free to use. There's also a public voice channel in case anybody wants to use that. I'm pretty sure you found your way into the server after asking this question, but it's still good to let people know that Discord is free. To gain access to the server, all you have to do is read all the rules and text on the welcome page. It looks like some people have found that a bit challenging, but it's pretty easy. And that's all the questions for this fortnight. Speaking of Discord, let's go and have a look at some of the modelling work that has been shared there. First up, we have Ducking Tanker who has shared this guy saying, "There's something not quite right about this ultramarine. His true colours are starting to show through." This is a work in progress. It looks interesting to me. Ducking is making a kill team of Alpha Legion Marines disguising themselves as Marines from other legions. I don't know much about 40k lore, but I think that's a pretty cool idea. Name Redacted shared this tiger. They lost their number 7 decals, and what's been done here is a new 7 has been made from 1s. As Name Redacted said, it's not perfect and you can see the sort of curve at the top of the 1, but I think it looks pretty good. Bonus internet points for being resourceful and creative. And here's a couple of Africa Core tigers from Name Redacted as well. These are very nice. There's a few progress pictures of these on the server and I did enjoy seeing them take shape, or colour. They were already shaped that way. Either way, great work. Ratto shared some Skelly-mans. These look very cool, and I quite like that skull doorway cave thing. I don't know what you would actually call that. And here are all of Ratto's utes or jutes, I forget. These are for Darklands by Miers Miniatures, and they're very good. More awesome work is Ratto's Panzer 38T. This is the plastic 28mm scale model from Warlord Games. Ratto notes that he ran out of matte varnish, so it hasn't been varnished yet, but I think it looks really nice anyway. You've done a great job of bringing out those rivets. Awesome. Monol shared this finished Lehman Russ. I think it looks pretty good, though Monol was feeling a bit meh about it overall, the end result not being quite what he wanted. I do know that feeling. In this last image, Monol has repainted the white parts grey and applied a thin wash. I liked it before, but this does look improved. The grey matches the rest of the tank I think, and Monol was pleased with it too, which is what counts. Sunny Deezy shared his first airbrushed models. These do look pretty good, especially for a first attempt at using an airbrush. I think the comments also mentioned this, but it would be a good idea to work on getting your lines a bit neater. That just comes with practice. Without seeing what you're doing, it looks like you might be rushing a little bit, and the paint might be a little bit thin. Not bad at all though, keep at it and soon you'll be an airbrush king. Or something like that anyway. Here's a couple of images showing Sunny Deezy's attempt at making a flamethrower man with the light from the flames reflecting back on the figure. I think this looks quite good, especially in the goggles. It conveys a good sense of heat to me, I can almost feel it. Nice work. An accident resulted in the destruction of the Tourette's Gamer's Hetzer. The Tourette's Gamer decided to turn it into a burnt out wreck for use in a diorama, and that's what we see here. There won't be any more hetzing from this one. Somebody commented that it looks a bit rusty, and I'm inclined to agree, but that just makes it look like it's been sitting for a while, rather than being freshly burnt out. I think it looks pretty cool. and it's a good way to repurpose something broken as well. Major General Bunk, formerly Top Bunk Productions, has finally completed his Soviet rat bomb handlers. These are really cool, and it's nice to see who handles the rats after seeing the rats themselves last fortnight. Over here, you filthy bastards. We can't hit the fascists if you're more scared than the rodents you're carrying. There. No, there. Damn it all. Towards the Germans, not the Commissar. Good lord, I hope this works. How much will this pile protect me if this thing catches a low wire? Antonov, I have cared for you for many months. You and your brothers are the only true friends I've had in this hellhole of a city, but now you must go and do your duty for the motherland. Just head towards the fascists and dream of victory. Rodent handler quips and such are from Major General Bunk. Excellent work. Cartool shared this very muddy T-29. I think it's a T-29 anyway. It looks like one. It also looks very good. And here's another one. Both of these look like they've spent a lot of time in the mud. I'm not sure what scale or manufacturer either of these tanks are, but I don't suppose that really matters. And here's some more awesome work from Cartool. This is a King Tiger, and it's another good-looking muddy boy. I rather like the missing pieces of skirting. Again, I don't know the scale or manufacturer, still it's very awesome work. Ira Day shared this awesome Revell 160th scale model of Boba Fett's Slave 1. This is really well done. We don't see a lot of sci-fi around here, but I would like to encourage more of it. This particular example is very good. Ira mentioned feeling bad for being inactive in the Discord, but I want to say that's okay. There's no requirement for being active, I just want the Discord to be somewhere people can come to share their work and talk about models and stuff like that. I don't want anyone to feel obligated to be here, so participate as you wish. Did I say this was amazing work already? Because it is. Gift of Chaos is new on the Discord server and decided to share this Sherman. This is a really good looking model, very nicely painted. It looks like it's seen a lot of sun, so it's probably been out and fighting for a long while. The mud is pretty good too. I like how it looks like it's got chunks of grass in it. Excellent work. Gopnik shared this plane. We all know my plane identification skills are garbage, but what isn't garbage is this model. It looks very nice, and it's quite dirty, which in my mind makes it look a bit more interesting. I also like the antenna. That looks like it might have been kind of fiddly to put on. Very nice. Blitzkrieg shared this rated Sherman 5 for a Flames of War objective marker. Looks pretty decent, and I like the smoke effect. I guess in this case the objective is to make it to the tank before it completely engulfs in flames, or maybe for the enemy to get there and make it worse. Keep up the good work. Trekan Belovich shared this set of Merkavas. Merkavas? Saying things wrong is what I do. These look pretty great, though Trekan points out that he's marked them up wrong. Well, not so much wrong, but they're all marked as the second tank of platoons 1, 2 and 3, as I understand it. Personally, I don't see that as a huge problem. I never would have realised unless it was pointed out, and I'm sure most people would be the same way. What matters to me is they look great. Very well done. Wilbur has finished this captured Sherman. This looks to be the Warlord Sherman from those loose-looking tracks. I think making this as a captured vehicle is quite interesting, and you've done it very nicely. It looks like the markings are hand-painted, which gives me the idea that this was captured very quickly, and they've hastily slapped some crosses on it before heading back to their own lines. You know, so they don't get shot up. Very nice job. And that's it for the models this fortnight. Let's go and have a look at some of the art shared in the Arts and Crafts section of Discord. First, Colonel Paul Do Not Even Try Gamma shared this accurate drawing of a Veraboo. Mein Krabstahl! I'm not normally into stuff that picks on specific people, but this is kind of funny. And Veraboos are quite silly, and kind of deserving of a little bit of mockery. Duncanuva shared this Five Nights at Freddy's art. Apparently a Golden Freddy has been summoned. I don't really know much about the game, but I assume Golden Freddy is bad. Fun art though. Duncanuva also did this drawing for Anzac Day. It's Australian and New Zealand forces fighting against Japan, and it includes the two important tanks, Sentinel and Bob Semple. Truly an overpowered force. Max Strike Eagle drew his Discord avatar in the style of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And here it is with some colour. I quite like this. I don't know anything about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure beyond the meme they did on Desert Bus one year, but I think this is pretty cool. Dreadnought Luna shared this picture of an 81 class locomotive. This one is drawn as a Pacific National engine. I vaguely remember seeing these around the Acacia Ridge area in Brisbane in the mid and late 90s. Very nice work. Here is something that isn't a picture. Garrus shared this cardstock tank. I think we talked about this during a stream. It's pretty cool, and it might be a good way to get people into building models too. General Spade shared this after getting back into drawing after ages. I like the textures and colours that you've used. It looks like a tree stump that has just been cut out of the earth, like something the Borg might do. Very cool. Major General Bunk shared this, which was inspired by one of the funny Company of Heroes voice lines. Things go up, things go down. Very informational. Monol has been working on this turret. I believe this is for 40k, and presumably it will be 3D printed. I might be wrong. Either way, it's an interesting looking turret. There's also some images of hulls in various stages of completion. I look forward to seeing this built, if it is indeed going to be built. And here is Eastern Union's, well, I don't know exactly what it is, other than a big angry robot man of some kind. Looks like he's been shot up quite a bit and lost an arm. This is very cool and well drawn. Excellent work. And that's all the art for this fortnight. Ask a Herbert Erpaderp is now concluded. As always, thanks to everybody who submitted modelling pictures, artwork, and of course questions. And everyone who has just been participating in the Discord and community in general. I appreciate it all. As always, if you've got a question you would like me to answer on the next Ask a Herbert Erpaderp, it can go in the comments here on YouTube or on Discord. Also, don't forget to subscribe, follow, ring the bell, and all the other things you do on YouTube and social media. Links to all of the things, including my Patreon and my Twitch channel, are in the description below. And, as always, I shall return soon, so until then, be excellent to each other, and thanks for watching. Farewell.